Hey there, welcome to the garden. It is a bit of a gray, a bit rainy sort of evening out here, but I'm going to put together two really simple perennial containers, probably about the easiest containers you can put together for some early fall perennial flower interest in containers that can also eventually translate into color and growth, obviously, as perennials in the landscape. So let's do it. Again, super easy, super fun. Let's talk about these flowers. Okay, so first we are going to talk just gorgeous early fall colors. So September is an interesting time for flowers. It's definitely, for me here in Zone 7B, it's when my zinnias, my cosmos, my really big summer flowers start to look a little bit past their prime. I'm starting to pull some things out in the garden, and it's kind of when I'm ready to have just still some of that big beautiful color, but not quite ready to go full on into pansies, violas, although that season is starting up. For us, we have a really warm fall, so it's a little hard to jump into those cool weather crops just yet, but there are some really beautiful things that bloom in September, October timeframe, and one of those are anemones, which I've seen in people's yards for the last couple years and just thought, oh my gosh, I need some of this bloom. So I went ahead to the garden center and I grabbed this one, which I thought was so pretty. Talk about a delicate, sort of whimsical, cottage garden-y looking kind of flower. So pretty with that pink and the little center that almost looks like woodland vibes too, maybe, just super, super pretty. This particular variety, let me grab the plant tag. This variety is in September Charm, perfect name. And it's really pretty. It's got these beautiful little kind of burgundy buds that open into the pink flowers. It's gonna be a zone 3 to 7, so barely squeaking in there here in my zone 7B, but we make it. And it's gonna top out about 30 inches tall, about 24 inches wide, part sun and summer to fall blooms. I need to add more of this into my life. This kind of flower is totally my favorite kind of flower. I absolutely love this. I'm so excited about it. I also have, pairing with it in our first container, a gorgeous Cat's Pajamas Nepeta. You've probably seen this flower all over because I feel like everyone that has a garden, an online garden, has this in their garden. And I've obviously seen about it for years, never bought it, but I have to say, I picked it up because eventually these perennials are going to go out in the landscape and in areas where I have deer, most of them, probably not the anemone, but definitely this Cat's Pajamas. And this is a very deer resistant, minty kind of plant. Super pretty, but the bees, let me tell you, if you want pollinators in your garden, I have never seen anything like this plant. The bees and butterflies and everything are all over it immediately. As soon as I brought it home from the garden center, they were on top of it. So this is gonna be, it's pretty short, so it's kind of gonna be, we're gonna have our thriller, if you will, in the container, and this is gonna be our spiller. It's gonna be 12 to 14 inches tall. It's full sun, zones 3 through 8. And blooms late spring to early fall. I love that. Something that blooms all season long. There's a reason everybody talks about this, and I'm definitely going to be putting more of this in my garden as the years go by. This is gorgeous, and the really pretty kind of bluish, purplish color. I just really, really love this. I think it looks really sweet with the pink, but it also looks really good with this, which is my other flower. So this is a Kudos Mandarin Agastaki. Another plant that is super deer resistant. So I am thinking down the line of planting these out into the landscape, and I have so many deer here that anything that is really deer resistant is great for me. Our deer here are super tenacious. They ate like the butterfly bushes. They've eaten a ton of things that are technically supposed to be deer resistant, but they have not gone after the Agastache. So this is a really good one. I actually don't have the plant tag with me, but it's definitely going to be hardy in zone 7 where I'm at. I'm not entirely sure of the whole range, but it's only going to top out about 24 to 18 inches tall. So right around here, same rough size, and it wants full sun, which is basically what it's going to get out here. So all these are going to do really well in sun, and I just think, I mean, you can't pair like a better color combo than these two. They're both that like bright color, but also like just slightly dusty and a little bit moody and just perfect. So I have these beautiful perennials. As I said, I'm ready to like put them in a container, but I do want to plant them out into landscape eventually. And it is, you know, the beginning of end of September, beginning of October. Like, we're getting into the cool weather anyways. Plants tend to do better overwintering in the ground. So if you have perennials that are in pots, in their nursery pots, they're gonna be happier over the winter if they're in the soil. So my plan is to enjoy these in a container for a few weeks and then plant them into their forever spots in the landscape. But it seems like a lot of work to plant them into soil and then plant them into the ground. So we're just gonna leave them in their nursery pots and create a container. So what I have here is this trough, nice little trough planter. I went ahead and got a brick to give myself a little bit of height in the container, just because the cat's pajamas is going to be a little bit shorter than like the anemone. I feel like, what is it, like Finding Nemo? What's that movie where they're like anemone? They can't say it. Whatever. Anemone. Yeah. Okay. So this one's tall enough. I think I can just literally set it down in the container. We're going to make this about as easy as we possibly can because it's the end of the garden season. I'm exhausted. I don't feel like doing extra work. We're just going to pop it in there. Beautiful. Okay. The key to making this look good is to have full enough plants that they take up most of the space. Then we're going to go ahead and put our spiller right here. And this is going to be the filler. The mid height. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me show you how this looks. So beautiful, so fun. You can hardly even tell that there's not any soil in there. And I just love this combination of colors together. I think this is so pretty. I can't get over this plant. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Stunning. You will have to be a little careful growing a container like this because obviously they are in their nursery pots. Depending on how root bound they are, they may need extra water. It's kind of nice because I actually didn't end up drilling any drainage holes in those little trough plantery things yet. I figure I will next season if I actually plant anything like long term in them. But since these plants are in their nursery pots, they're just stuck in there. I can actually kind of bottom water if I need to. If I'm finding that the plants are very root bound at this point, they're very hard to hydrate, I can actually just bottom water from the bottom. So it's kind of nice. It's a good way to do it if you're gonna do this like sort of half planting kind of trick. So just be mindful of that though, because they're not going to be able to get as well hydrated as they would if you actually did plant them into potting soil and did the whole thing correctly. So something to think about. There also are nursery pots, so I may grab like some of my water soluble fertilizer and every like couple weeks until I get them planted out in the soil. I'll probably give them a little shot of fertilizer just to make sure they're doing okay. Although we are getting into the end of the season, they're about to go dormant. So I don't want to give them fertilizer too long. So now that I'm telling you that, I may rethink that. If it was earlier in the season, if it was like June, I would definitely be giving them fertilizer. They're about to go dormant for the winter. So actually I'm probably going to hold off on that fertilizer for now. But it is something, if you do this as a more like earlier in the season, earlier in the year, if you do this kind of an arrangement, be mindful of that because they are container plants at this point. Okay, so I'm going to do a similar container over here. I have a repeat. We're going to do the gorgeous cat's pajamas because that is so beautiful And I like a little bit of symmetry in my containers. They're going to be on either side here of my like sitting area back in the garden. So I want to have a little bit of symmetry there. But then I got a couple other fun, like beautiful late summer, early fall flowers. Nothing screams late summer, early fall than Rudbeckia. This is a really pretty variety. It's actually a native in my area, which is kind of fun. And I liked it because it's just a little more small, compact, and kind of rounded than the sort of traditional, you know, just basic Rudbeckia that you see. I believe the variety, let's see what the name of this one is. It's a Fulgida var Fulgida. Not entirely sure. But zone down to hard to do zone 5, 24 to 30 inches tall, full sun to partial shade. So super fun. Gonna be a really, really good one. Pairs beautifully with the Nepeta. Obviously yellow and blue is like classic color combination. And then as my third plant in here, I have an Agastaki. This is a Beelicious Pink. Really, really beautiful. Compact growth, 32 inches tall max, zone 6 to 10, full sun, summer. You have to be really careful with Agastaki. I went ahead and popped it in here and I brought it out, and I'm not gonna move it because Agastaki branches are really delicate down here at the base. I feel like every time I go ahead and try to plant an Agastaki, one of the stems breaks off at the base. So you need to be really careful, but we're gonna set that beautiful Nepeta right next to it. And then we're just gonna take this, here we go, and set it in as gently as we possibly can. Kind of give everything a little fluff and a little arrange, and there we go. I mean, perfect. How gorgeous is that? I just love these late summer, early fall perennial flowers. They are my absolute favorite, and this kind of color combination I just love. It's so pretty. It's so perfect. This almost looks like a spring flower to me, so I kind of like that like juxtaposition. Oh my gosh, so beautiful. And this Agastaki again will also be very deer resistant along with the Nepeta. Now Rudbeckia is typically supposed to be deer resistant. But as I kind of mentioned, my deer I am finding are absolutely crazy. They are just eating everything. They actually, one of the things that's changed out here, if you're following along, you're like, where are you in your garden? I've had to change things around again, which I am just like, I almost gave up. I will be honest, I almost gave up. I almost was just like, I'm done. It's the end of the season. I don't care. But they got into my kitchen garden. They got through my deer fence. I use like this mesh wire deer fence. They got through it. It was a whole thing. I'm sort of trying to restart out here, and I'll give you more updates as we go along. But I just needed to go to the garden center and grab some like beautiful late summer, early fall color perennials, kind of hope for the future garden. It's definitely nice at the end of the season when you're feeling tired in the garden. I feel like it's nice to do something like these containers that is so easy. It's so simple. It requires almost no like immediate attention, but it still adds that fresh bit of like color and just life to the garden. And then I can plant it out. I can keep, you know, doing more with it, and I will. But for now, at least I've got something growing that is like beautiful and fresh and new, and they're all just so lovely. Like I just love all these flowers. So it's really added to the garden. It's been super fun. Couldn't be easier to put those containers together. And yeah, I'm just going to keep them well watered and take care of them. And really there's not been much other than trying to like deal with the issues caused by the deer getting through the fence and the tree coming down and having to move some things around and sort of figure out what my garden layout is going to be. There's really not been much going on in the garden. I feel like if you've been following for a long time, you'll notice it's been kind of quiet as far as videos go. I've just been sort of taking it easy because there's just not much happening. But we've got containers now. And I did notice that, you know, there's all the like, all the fall crops and everything are in the garden centers. So it's getting me kind of excited for some of those like wintry things. I don't know how much fall winter gardening I'm going to do. I have so many beds that I need to fill, and I need to utilize the leaves that fall and everything to help with some composting and stuff. So I'm kind of trying to go slow and steady, I think. Oh, I need to close my umbrella. Not get too far ahead of myself, and just kind of take it easy a little bit. But yeah, I still do some things that really make my heart happy, like containers. Just love containers. So there'll be more coming there. I definitely am going to keep up on that. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to go ahead and head inside now. I'm not sure if it's going to rain, but it's certainly getting too dark out here. Nights are coming earlier and earlier. It's definitely fall. Fall is here. We are in that season, and I miss those like late, long, summery days. It's getting so dark so early, but that's okay. All right. Well, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.